I'm in New York City's Union Square, about to see the hottest textile studio in town. Let's go see Studio 4 NYC. So here we are at Studio 4 New York with Stacy Wagner, owner of the store.
Sure.
And I was here when you guys just opened your doors 2 years ago, and you've grown so much. You have such a well-edited selection of fabrics and carpets and wall coverings. How do you pick? How do you keep it so focused?
There's so much available on the market, and there's so many. There are a huge number of fabric lines. There are a huge number of carpet offerings. We do a lot of what in carpet, for instance, we do a lot of broadloom carpets, and there are plenty of broadloom carpets available on the market, but we sort of focus it to the things that we know that we like and that our clients like. We do a lot of hand woven things too, hand woven, hand knotted, hand tufted, handmade carpets that are made all around the world. And you know, one of the things in dealing with things that are made all around the world is you deal with global economies, and you deal with political upheavals in different parts of the world. We do a lot of things in Nepal. They're very known for going on strike all the time, but we trust our vendor in Nepal that provides reliable lead times. We don't tell people that we can get something in 12 weeks because we know we can't get it in 12 weeks. A lot of it is training our clients. A lot of it is managing expectations. For a hand-woven rug from Nepal, it's a 6-month lead time. And if somebody tells you that they can get it for you in 12 weeks, well, you're going to have about 2 more months of calling them every day saying, where's my rug that you said was going to be here in 4 months? There's so many creative people all over the world doing sort of little bitty industries and little bitty companies that have amazing design. Most of the things that we do, they're done in traditional ways, but with sort of an updated spin on it. A lot of the techniques that are used to make our rugs are old, antique ways that they've been making carpets for centuries.
So you also have a custom loom in the back to do custom fabrics.
We have a great weaver. Her name is Soraya Shaw. She is amazingly talented. She weaves in all sorts of different fibers. She'll weave in cottons and linens and wools and silks and cashmeres and metallics and you name it.
Florence Broadhurst was a big inspiration to your designs. Tell me a little bit about her.
She was amazing. Florence Broadhurst was Australian. She started in the wallpaper business there in Australia because she bought a trucking company that had a wallpaper production shed going on in the back lot. In the 60s, late 60s and early 70s, it was pre-FedEx, pre-UPS. If all the great design was going on in London or in New York, by the time papers and designs and product got to Australia, it was, 6-month lead time. It took forever to get things there, and she wanted to do production there in Sydney that rivaled what was going on in London. She did a lot of things with mylar. She did a lot of things with sort of bright, colorful designs. She had something like 600 or 700 different designs that were in her archive. And about 20 years later, a gentleman named David Lenny found, sort of came across her archive and started reproducing it for a company called Signature Prints. So they're based in Sydney, and they're doing amazing, beautiful reproductions of her work. So Florence is back.
Why do rug and carpet manufacturers blend different types of fibers?
A lot of it has to do with price. A lot of it has to do with texture. For instance, in a handmade rug, if I have 100% silk, say hand knotted rug, it has a beautiful sheen and beautiful luster, and a lot of expense. I can usually blend that silk with a wool, and if I did 50% of each fiber, you also get that sheen. You still get the luster of the silk, but it brings the price way down, and it actually makes it a little bulkier, a little more durable, a little less scary, a little less precious.
And how do you guys work with designers? Is there a specific protocol, and are you just to the trade?
Well, we are primarily to the trade. So anything that's custom has to be done with a designer. You can make a lot of expensive mistakes if you're just a retail person trying to create design. Our job is to be in partnership with the designers to make sure that the designers are making decisions that are correct for their clients. We have designers that use us over and over again for every project.
Well, I can see why, and I'd love to go talk more about fabrics and wall coverings. So let's tour the store.
Fantastic.
All right. So I look at these wall coverings and I see so much pattern, texture, color. Can we flip through some of these and talk about
Absolutely.
where they come from?
This first one is from Paper Mills. Paper Mills is two sisters that are here in Brooklyn. They are Amy and Noelle Mills. They do everything by hand. You can see on here, like I don't know how close you can see on it, but the textures of the actual paints and the sponges, everything is individual and hand done. And when it goes up on the wall, it has a very handmade quality, almost as if they had come in and painted it all on site.
Yeah, it's like artwork.
This is one of the sort of signature pieces from Florence Broadhurst. In developing this design, there's this great sort of little cheeseclothy pattern over here. It's actually printed on the surface. So they take a mylar shiny ground, and the mylar is really metallic. They print this little screen of this white linen cloth on it, and then they print the pattern on it. It has a great traditional feel, but with a twist.
I love it. This is great. Let's go look at some carpets.
Fantastic.
I love your rugs here. So many different materials used, different pile heights, and places that they come from. Tell us a little bit about these.
Well, these are hand woven in Nepal. They are hand knotted, which is again a traditional way of making carpets. It's when we say hand knotted, each fiber is literally knotted on a loom. So you get this fantastic pile here. This one in particular is made with metallics and cottons and wools and silks. So it's kind of got a lot of different textures and fibers in there. The metallic, you can see it has like this great little glitzy feel, so it makes it quite a special carpet. And then on top of that, the silk gives you, you have a sheen for the silk too. It has quite a great luster. So I love the way the luster of the silk plays against the sort of super shine of the metallic, and it also has this sort of flat weave. So it has a lot of different things going on in it. I think it makes it a really interesting carpet texture.
Yeah, beautiful.
This is a hand tufted rug, and what happens in a hand tufted is that they basically use a little needle gun, and they, when you're tufting, every single yarn is placed perfectly. So when you're knotting things, you get a lot of variation depending on the way the knots are tied. Tufting is a lot more precision, so you can get these sort of sharp corners and things like that. These little, sort of straight line rows. What we've done in this is wool, and then the green is actually a mixture of wool and silk. They've basically twilled wool and silk yarns together, which means that they've taken sort of one end of wool and one end of silk and twisted them together, and so that it actually reads as a satin yarn. So this is a Florence Broadhurst design, and it's hand knotted in Nepal, and I love this carpet because there are a lot of things that come into this. First of all, it's these beautiful wools that are done here, and that's the pattern of it. But then this background, we've mixed aloe and hemp. They have a nice play against the softness of the wool. Then you also have hand carving to sort of make to keep the lines sort of straight and keep the pattern, sort of a little bit rigid.
Gives it a little bit of a sharper feel, helps define the design. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Here's your assignment. Collect 10 wall covering, fabric, and flooring samples. Bring them back to class and tell us why they inspired you. Remember, this can be the beginning of your resource library, so make it good.